Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and we're going to start on our AJ journal for June today. Now, we're not going to get this finished in one video, I can tell you that up front. But today we're going to start and try to do the cover. Aaron is going to be here on Tuesday, so I will get him to work with me some on Tuesday, putting some other things together on another video. Some of the people, maybe the out-of-country people, have not got their kit yet, and that's okay. These are going to be recorded so you can watch them at any time. But I just wanted to get started with the first video today, and then we will go through and do the other ones. Now, I'm going to go slow on this. I'm going to take my time. And you can leave any questions that you might have down below, and I will try my best to answer them to the best of my knowledge. All right, this was a 12 by 12 piece of chipboard that came in your kit. This is a medium weight chipboard. This is what we're going to use for our cover. Now, I went ahead, I'm going to make my cover 6 by 8. You can make yours any size that you want. You don't even have to use this chipboard. You can use something else. But I'm going to use the chipboard, and I'm going to make mine 6 inches wide and 8 inches tall. That's going to be a pretty good size journal. And then we're going to have a 2-inch spine. So I went ahead and cut off this part, but I'm going to show you how I cut this off. And it's not rocket science, but if you don't have, a lot of people don't have one of the big guillotine trimmers, and if you don't, that's fine. You can do it with an X-Acto knife, or as I'm going to do it, with a utility knife. Just be very, very careful, please. You could probably even cut this with the Tim Holtz shears if you have them. I cannot do it because of my hand, but you probably could if you've got good strength in your hand. Now, I'm going to hold this. That's my line right down through there. I just measured quite a few 6 inches over, and then I drew my line. So I'm going to go right with my line. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz ruler with the metal side. And then I'm just going to start, and I'm going to start slicing, and I'm not pressing down hard. I'm just slicing slowly. Don't try to get it all in one cut. That's where a lot of people make their mistake. They try to go too quick and get it all in one cut, and then it ends up messing up. So just keep slicing until it comes apart. That's all you have to do. Just slice slowly. And yes, this is a cutting mat, and I cut straight on it. So it's supposed to be a self-healing mat. I don't know if it will self-heal or not, but it's supposed to be. All right, we want a 2-inch spine, I think, on this. Now, again, you can make your spine whatever size you want. If you want one bigger, then make one bigger. But I think 2 inch is going to be, you know, that's quite big enough. And we're probably going to have 2 signatures in this, so that should work just perfect. So I'm just going to mark down through here 2 inches. I mark it in quite a few places. That way I have a little guideline of where to put my ruler. And then this way we're going to mark it at 8 inches. Okay, right there. And then I'll just mark over here. And then I always do this. I always look at this and my marks and make sure that I have cut everything the right way. Or the right size, I should say. Because sometimes I have been known to cut one piece one size and another piece the other size. I know you can't believe that, but I have. All right, I'm going to put one more mark on this 8 inch just because I feel like that I just need that extra line over there so that I can get this going straight. My ruler, my Tim Holtz ruler, is very, very old. And I have used some products on it that I probably shouldn't have, and some of my lines are fading away, so. But you can use your Tim Holtz ruler and just guide it that way if you want to. So again, just glide it across there slowly. That's going to be our little extra piece. We'll put that over to the side. And then we're going to draw a little line down through here. I'm going to make one more mark down at the bottom, 2 inches. Okay, then we will draw our line right down through there. And I just look and make sure I've hit all my little marks, you know, because sometimes you can let that ruler slip. All right. Then again, we're just going to start cutting slowly. You get that groove in your chipboard first. And then from there, you just keep gliding it down through that same little groove. And in a minute, you'll feel it just give. And that is it. So that's an extra piece. We'll lay that aside. And here is our cover for our journal. So there's the spine. And there's the front and the back covers. All right, let me put this away. Now it's a matter of going through here and deciding what paper you want to use for your cover. I really love that one. And I really love that one, but I really, really love this one. Let me think. I think that I might use this for my front cover, and I might use a different one for my back cover. And you can do that if you want to. You know, with us making this 8 inches tall, one sheet is not going to do the front and the back. So, or you can do this. You could take some of your cardstock that you have and cover it first in cardstock, and then just cut out your pieces to put on top of here, and then you wouldn't waste any of your paper at all, which we're not going to waste paper, but this is just going to be a little bit different because we're going to have one color on the front and another on the back, which is not a big deal to me, but some of you may not want that. Now I think I'm going to go ahead and put my spine with this, because I think that's going to work great. All right, let me think about this a minute. I just want to look at my other side and make sure what I got there. Yeah, I like that on there. So that's what we're going to use. So we are going to, I'm going to come in. I usually come in from the side about 1 inch, but I think I may just do 1/4 inch this time. So what I like to do, and this is something else that I just do that helps me, but you don't have to if you don't want to. I may go ahead and come in 1 inch. It's not that bad. So we're just going to mark 1 inch. Mark 1 inch. Oops, I think I marked 1 1/4 inches there instead of 1 inch. Okay, and up here we'll mark 1 inch. And then on the bottom, I'm going to come up 1 inch and just mark that. And I just mark it in quite a few places down through here. Okay. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to draw a little line on this, straight down those marks that I just made. Okay, remember this is going to be on the inside, so it's not going to show, so don't worry about writing on your paper. Okay, and then I'm going to make my mark across there. So I have my corner spot right here. See where my lines intersect. I've got 1 inch marked off here and 1 inch marked off here. And what that does is when you lay this chipboard down, you can put that point right in that corner, and then you make sure that your chipboard is going to lay down straight. And then when you put your next piece down, you can put it down right on that line, so therefore that one's going to be straight as well. Okay, so we are going to go ahead, I think, and glue this down. All right, you've got some 1/8 inch score tape in your kit. we're going to use a combination of score tape and glue to put this down with. Now, I would, most of the time, I use a thicker score tape than this, but this will work, especially since we're going to be adding glue. Let me put this on the hand like I need it, and we'll get going with this. So we're going to be adding some glue in the middle. So, and you've got plenty of score tape, so you don't have to worry about being frugal with it. Okay, I'm going to go back and put a little run right there since I didn't get right at the corner, right at the edge. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and pull those pieces up right here at the end. I'm just going to pull them back just a little bit and fold them. I'm not going to take it off yet. All I'm doing is pulling it back. Just fold it back a little bit, all of them, and then we're going to take our score tape again and we're going to go this way, right across there, and then another one right close to that one, just like that. And just make sure that you press that down in there. Then I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to do this end the same way. We're just going to pick that up a little bit. Oops. There we go. Okay, now put your score tape across. Okay, in between the score tape, I'm just going to run some art glitter glue. Because you want your paper to be glued down really well to your chipboard. You don't want any gaps in there where it could buckle up or anything. So that's what we're going to do right there. Then let's go ahead and we will take the backing off of that score tape and press that down. And I'm just going to look and see if I feel like I need any more glue anywhere. I'm going to put another little bead right along the edge. I know I've got score tape there, but it never hurts. There always have too much than not enough. Now when you lay this down, you're going to put the point of this right in where your lines cross there. And then you're just going to line it up with that line that you drew down through there. I press it down really good on one side and then find my bone folder, wherever it might be. Then you're going to take your bone folder and you're going to press on that all the way around, up and down and crossways. That's going to make sure that all that sticks down really well. So that's stuck down. I don't have any bubbles in there, creases or anything. I don't have to wait for this to dry. Okay, we're going to do our little piece here the same way. Use some score tape. When you're using chipboard making a journal cover or an album cover, your score tape is the best way to go because score tape adheres really well to chipboard and it doesn't get the chipboard wet. So it's the best way to go on that. better than just using a wet glue. But I use a little of both. All right, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull these up a little bit and put one crossways, because I like to have one all the way across there at the end. You don't want your journal falling apart. When I make them, I want to make them forever. I don't want to make them to last just for a little while. Okay, there's that one. Go ahead and pull this up. And then put that down. Okay. All right, we can pull these up, and then I'm just going to run some glue on there. It's trying to get away from me. And this is just a little pick tool. We have these. They're called stylus, but on one end it's sharp. And I have actually bent the tip of mine just a little bit, so it works really good to pick up those little pieces. All right, now we're going to go all around that. And then I'm just going to put some in between what we did there. Okay. Then I am going to try my best not to get that glue all over me. Okay, in order to get this to where your chipboard is spaced apart enough to where you have that bend and you don't have your paper cracking, you can use a piece of chipboard, or two little pieces of chipboard is usually what I use, and just put it down that way. Or if you have a Tim Holtz ruler, you can put your Tim Holtz ruler down right up against this chipboard on this side, and then what you're going to do is just lay this piece down right up against that, and just make sure that you have it on this line down here, even with that other piece. And then you've got your little gap there. Let me make sure, push that one up a little bit. So then you have your gap, and you can do that over here on this side, and you have your same gap going on there. Okay, flip it over. There we go. So now we have that. Now, I'm thinking about how I want to attach the back piece. And I'm thinking for the back piece, I may just use this, because that's going to go with this front well, and it's not going to use up my really pretty paper that I want to use. I mean, all of it's pretty, yes, but some of it I like a little bit better than others. Okay, I'm going to go ahead on this end, and I'm going to mark my 1 inch from my chipboard. My ruler feels like it's got something hung on the back. It keeps attaching itself. Okay, then we're going to trim this off right here. And I'm just going to grab my little knife. Now you could definitely do this with a trimmer. I'm just going to do it this way. Okay, so there is that piece. Then, I'm thinking here. Alright, I think I'm going to cut this off at 1 inch past the end of my chipboard, and I'm just putting my ruler right up on that chipboard. Whoops. See, I let that slip a little bit, which is not going to matter because this is extra pieces anyway. That's going to wrap around the chipboard, so it really doesn't matter, but I'm going to cut it off that way. This will be our fold. That folded perfect. We got just the right amount on there that folded perfectly. Okay, that will be our front cover right there. And then to attach our back cover, what I think I'll do, and I'm just going to lay this down and look at it for a minute. Sorry if I hit the microphone. Okay, I'm probably going to run lace on my spine anyway, so I can attach this piece on the outside right there at the end of that one, or I can attach it on the inside. I'm thinking I want to attach it on the inside. I think that'll make it more sturdy. So what I'll do is I will attach it right there, and then I'll put my other piece of chipboard here. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead, and what we'll do is we'll lay this down just like that, and then we'll glue this piece down to that one. But I'm going to cut it off first. That way I'm not having to fool with all of that extra up there at the top. And I'm just going to grab my trimmer to do this part. Now what I'm going to do to make sure that I get both of these lined up straight is I'm going to put this on my grid. I'm going to put that at one of the lines on my grid. And then I'm going to put this one down at the line on my grid, because, you know, I could have not cut it straight. I could not have laid this down straight, which looks like I may not have laid it down exactly straight. So we are going to do it that way, just like that, because we want this paper to run straight across. So now I can look in the camera and it looks like all of my paper is lined up there. Pretty good. So that's the way we're going to put that down right there. Now I'm just going to use some wet glue on this. I think that will work fine. And then what we're going to do again is we're going to line it up. And then I'm going to line it up with my little line up there at the top. Okay, now you can see mine is a little bit crooked. This piece looks like it might have gone over a little bit. Let me look. Okay, that's right it. Well, really it didn't. It's right on the money as far as down through here. I think it's my paper that's a little bit crooked. But we're not going to worry about that because it'll all come out in the end. We're going to lay this up here. This time I'm going to draw a little line down through here. That's where I need to lay this one. Right there on that line, just like that. Okay, so then I think I'll go ahead and cut this other end off too. Line that up. Then I'm going to go ahead and measure this out 1 inch and I'll cut that off. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just going to be the wraparound part. So I'll just cut it down through there. There we go. Okay, now we're ready to put this piece down. So we're going to cover this with score tape and art glitter glue the same way as we did before, and we're going to glue this piece down. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to cut some corners here. All I'm going to do is cut like that. I don't cut straight across. And then I'm going to take this piece that I cut off and I'm going to put it back down here. That way, if you don't get your corner cut, your paper cut just right, you don't have to worry about that chipboard showing, because you've got that piece glued in there. And then we'll do this one. And I just cut kind of at an angle like that. I don't cut straight. I figured that's a little bit too much to cut out of there. And then just glue that back down to your corner like that. Whoops, not enough glue right there. There we go. And then the same down here. And I leave about 1/8 of an inch from the end of the chipboard out. That gives you enough to fold over. Start with that. If it's a little bit too much, you can always trim it back. But I definitely wouldn't cut it any shorter than that, because you don't want your chipboard showing. Okay, there we go. Now what we're going to do is take our little score tool, take this end, and we're just going to run it right up against that chipboard to make that. We're going to break down the fibers a little bit. And I know you can't see all of this when I turn it like this, but you can see the bulk of it. That just breaks down those fibers and makes it a little bit easier to fold up. And then I take my bone folder and I press it up against that chipboard flat. That helps it fold too, without getting any creases in it or without the paper cracking. So fold it up like that. Again, you're going to fold I like to press too hard right there. Don't press too hard. Know your own strength. Alright, there we go. See how that just kind of cups up there? And then it's already ready to fold over. Then I just kind of go and lay it over and look at it. And if I have some corners that look like that, then I know that I'm going to have to fold that corner in, and I just push it in and then fold, and it makes me a nice little corner there. Same thing here. Just take my fingernail and push it in there. And I like to do that all the way around first before I start gluing. I always like to dry fit as much as possible, because after you get it glued down, it's too late. There we go. And that one's a little bit, so we'll use our tool and just pull it over. And then sometimes you can fold it one way or the other and then it lays flatter. So just do that. Now let's go ahead and glue this down. Now I am going to use score tape and glue again. It just makes everything work a little bit better. Now I don't run score tape across the little crack there. I just tear it there and then start it again like that, and then tear it and start it again. Right, now what we're going to do is run some on the edge of the paper. So I am going to just do that. And on this one, I'm just going to run it all the way. I'm not breaking it at any, I'm not breaking it here. Just run it all the way on your paper. All right, now just for security measures, and because our score tape is 1/8 and not a quarter, which is what I normally use, I'm going to run a piece right down the middle. Like I said, you've got plenty of score tape, so you don't have to worry about being frugal with it. just make sure you press it down really well. Sometimes I go back over it with my bone folder if I'm afraid I missed some spots. So that should be good. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the backing off, and then I'll put my glue down. It makes it a little bit easier. Sometimes if I put the glue down while the backing's on there, when I pull that backing off, I spread glue everywhere. I do one side at a time. Now I put quite a bit of glue right down in the edge there. That will keep that paper from cracking. It softens the paper up. And then when it dries, it just protects it. So, and now when I start pulling that up, I just make sure that I squish that glue in, and then I press that over, just like that. And then just run your towel down through there, make sure that you've got all of your glue up. Now right here, I'm just going to go over there real lightly with my bone folder. I'm not going to press in, because if you press on that, you're going to break it. So, all right, we're going to go flip it around to this side, and we're going to do the same thing. I forgot how much I love making mini albums using chipboard. This is what I used to do all the time before I started making softcover journals. So, but I do love covering the chipboard. Alright, more glue. Make sure you run it right down through there on the edge, and then all the way up here. And then while that's nice and wet, just take your fingers and run them down through there and squish that glue in that chipboard. And you want to pull that over just as tight as you can. You don't want to leave it any gaps or anything in it, because if you do, when you start putting your cover and everything on the inside, you're going to have some gaps up here, and it's not going to look pretty and flush. Alright, now we can do the ends. Now I start folding that up real slowly just to see if I've got any bits there that I need to fold in. Same down here. I'm going to fold it up real slowly. I've got a little bit right there that I need to fold in, and I just take the other end of my tool and press it in there. You can use your fingernail, whatever. Alright, there's some pretty corners. Nice and tight. And the corners are not showing. Everything is folded over well. I like that. Okay, we're going to do the same thing down here. Well, not with that tool, we're not. This one's got the point on it. Okay. Alright, glue right in the corner there. Alright, again, you're going to look at your corner and see if you need anything folded in. I need a little bit right there, I think. I'm just going to take that ball end of that, and if you get glue on it, it's not a big deal. It just wipes right off. Same thing down here. I'm going to take that ball end and just push that in, and then fold that over. And there are two more very pretty corners. Okay. Yeah, they look great on the outside. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to take my bone folder and run around this just to make sure that everything is pressed down well. And then I'm going to take it and easily go right here. I don't want to press on that. I'm just giving it a little bit of breakdown to that. Okay, so that is our cover. Let's go ahead and Fold that one slowly and carefully. There we go. No breakage, no cracking. Nice, cute cover. Ooh, I love that. All of this turned out in just the right place, and I don't even think I'll have to put anything on there if I don't want to. Okay. So that is going to be our cover right there. Now, before we do anything to the inside, before we put our paper on the inside, we need to go ahead and make our floating spine and do our page inserts and all of that, because your floating spine goes down first and then you cover this with paper. So this will be all that we can do until we make our page inserts and all of that. So this is probably going to be all on this video. So between now and next video, you can go ahead and get all of your pages ready. Now, we sent you quite a few sheets, but if you want to add anything out of your stash, you're welcome to do that. I will probably add a few pieces of book page and some different things from my stash, but you know, you've got a good supply here to get started with. I'm probably going to half these, and then half my blue ones and half the dot grid paper, and then I'll add some different things in on my signatures. So in the next video, we will get our signatures together. We will make our floating spine, sew our signatures to our floating spine, glue that in here, and then we will put our covers here. And then all that's left after that is just embellishing, and then we're going to add a little clasp closure with the magnets that came in your kit. So that's it on this video today, guys. I want you to have time to get caught up, so I don't want to do a long video. I want you to have time to do this part, and then you can go on to the next part when the next video comes up. So Aaron will be with us on the next video, I believe. Yes, he will be here Tuesday, and that's when the next video will go up. So you can go ahead and do this part, and then you'll be ready for Tuesday's video where we work on the signatures. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks to everyone who purchased the AJ kit. He is so excited. He's so excited about getting this kit done. This is going to be his journal. I know it's got flowers on the front of it, but he won't care. I'm going to let him add what pages and whatever else he wants to add in here. I'll probably just say, go for it. Add whatever you want. All right, guys, that is it. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.